incredible journey together.
100 days in office for Colorado Springs Mayor Yemi Mobolade. We're breaking down what he said today in his State of the City address.
Plus, my son project and diet they had to try this replacing now is approval time with new faith in the future.
And the Fort Carson Mounted Color Guard disbanding, why the Army says they had to take this step.
This is K-Wave News 5 at 5. Even one is one list News 5 at 5. I'm James. Get a try.
Diane Derby, it has been 100 days in office for Colorado Springs Mayor Yemi Mobolade.
And this is the day of political aside from the traditional history of the city of Nebraska by Michigan in D.C. Who follows the Senate in Nebraska today to the studio from now the mayor they say. Bill?
Yeah, the mayor acknowledges good things were underway before he took office, and he wants to maintain momentum. Then he talked about action items on his radar since he took office. Every table was filled with an enthusiastic crowd that frequently applauded the new mayor. He said securing Colorado Springs as the permanent home of Space Command will bring jobs, and showed him why working with others like our state and federal leaders is very important to the future of the city. He also addressed what he considers the city's most pressing issues: affordable housing and public safety.
But we may not always agree with one another. We can speak respectfully, peacefully, and we can listen to one another and learn from different perspectives by having more voices at the table.
The mayor also talked about the need to support mental health in our community. He said an unhealthy mind is the root cause of many of our social crises. He supported a city council member who wants neighbors to get to know neighbors with events like block parties. The mayor talked about a study that shows that knowing just 6 neighbors can help with your mental health. And the mayor's family will be invested in the topic of mental health. He says it is his wife's first platform as First Lady of the city.
Well, thank you. Well, we made it in ways with all the body season so far with Southern.
5 investigative reporter Megan Cloherty is here to break down some of the priorities emerging out of his administration so far. Megan.
Well, as you guys can imagine, it's a little hard after just 100 days to gauge the differences between the administrations. But Mayor Yemi Mobolade says he set himself apart in connecting with voters through listening sessions. In his speech, the mayor has also stressed maintaining transparency in his administration, telling residents they can go ahead and call us out if they aren't being responsive. And he also held an open session for media. Finally, the focus and priorities of his administration are beginning to emerge, starting with housing. He says that he spoke with military leadership at Northcom and the Air Force Academy. They identified lack of housing as their top concern for service members. Mobolade also highlighted the creation of 100 units of senior housing and the appointment of a chief housing officer to increase the affordable housing supply. And while voters approved Proposition 123 last November, it will be Mobolade's job to navigate how the city implements it. Colorado Springs was the first big city to opt into the program that allows housing providers to apply for state funds to build more housing in the so-called missing middle, specifically 2,600 new units in the next 3 years. And the second emerging priority is public safety. The mayor noted in his address that voters identified it as their top concern in the listening sessions he held. Mobolade says the city doesn't have enough police officers, response times have slowed, and he's focused on homelessness solutions as well. And as part of the public safety, a new police training academy you've heard about is a top priority. Voters' approval in November would allow the city, through a Tabor retention, to keep $4.75 million in revenue versus refunding what Mobolade says would amount to about $21 per utilities customer. He says the investment is necessary to promote recruitment and update training for our growing population.
Megan, thanks. For his state, his dress, for the Colorado Springs, and the John Sellers, by the Lifetime History Award. He worked in the Albany years for life achievements in the city of Colorado Springs. Notice the first the Sellers in the mouth work in past years with researcher in the office. Said this last there in 2015 was in June. In this stage, spoke about the state.
And as I've said to numerous audiences, in terms of the opportunity for political leadership, serving as mayor is the most satisfying of the many challenging jobs that I've had.
Southers defining a career with service elected as a former judicial trained in 1988 before serving as the U.S. Attorney for Colorado under the Bush administration.
Impressive man for sure, so deserving of that. All right, time for a weather check. Let's take a look outside in Colorado Springs and Pueblo and bring in our lead forecaster, Mike Daniels. Mike, nice day.
Sure is, Diane. Now radar starting to light up. We've got rain and thunderstorms popping across parts of eastern Colorado. Most of that stuff from Pueblo County points north all the way up to the Wyoming and Nebraska borders. Here in Colorado Springs, you're lucky if you're getting a little bit of light rain. Right there in Rock Rimmon, that's our Rock Rimmon studio right there. We're getting a couple of sprinkles. Further east, we're getting a little shower activity right at the confluence of 24 and 94. No strong thunderstorms anywhere across the viewing area. Stuff in Pueblo was pretty intense earlier. It's starting to decrease in intensity, but places like Eagle Ridge, North Ridge on the northwest side of the city getting some real good rainfall. This stuff is headed for University Park at Belmont, gradually going to push off to the south and east at about 10 to 12 miles per hour. So if you get underneath that stuff, you're going to get a pretty good soak. Here's what's going to happen. 6 o'clock tonight, most of the activity across El Paso County and points north. That'll be the case 7 to 8 o'clock tonight. Could see some real good soaking rain along and north of the Palmer Divide. And then early tomorrow morning, this model brings in a good pocket of rain across portions of southern Colorado. Pueblo and Point South could get a good soak early tomorrow morning. Temperatures, we've got a cold front pushing through 50s in Denver, 60s in the spring, still hanging out of those 70s all along the Arkansas River. It's going to be cooler and more rain in your Friday forecast. More on that straight ahead with First Alert 5.
Mike, thank you. An indictment today against President Biden's son, Hunter. He faces 3 federal gun charges.
No special the boss of the tax against the charges say now purchased back in October. He used to buy him drug use he has now in that time to crack cocaine. If he convicted now, it's the acute base by the use of prison. Indicted, of course, 15 days after the Speaker McCarthy said history would watch President Biden would allege with his feelings.
A new program is coming to El Paso County to help families facing eviction. Magistrate Andrea Papsiski with the 4th Judicial District is starting the El Paso County Court Eviction Diversion Program. One of the main features will be pre-eviction mediation. It will allow tenants and landlords to try to reach an agreement before eviction papers are filed. The magistrate says this should help decrease the amount of people going to court for evictions. Homeward Pikes Peak is an organization in Colorado Springs. They help prevent evictions. They say this program will be critical.
We can enter into mediation so that the eviction doesn't get on someone's record for 7 to 10 years. Then we have really helped that individual or family divert from a economic crisis, towards stability.
The program will also connect people who are evicted with local organizations to help them find housing.
The owner now says, in fact, the app is planning this decision from the Preston County Cruisers about this risk. Shitting Chabno says now, the fact environment about this could approve the state's creative bill. The operation is in this state of the county, with cable laws, which are called. However, now, this came popularity in the right time, and the code says now, the business originally, we're seeing the 50 this events. Chapman is asking for especially his permanent now to allow us to remove 25 person property during these grants.
If we are affecting